Hello, everybody, and welcome back to the Headspace Podcast. This is the show where we break down new-ish hip-hop albums track by track, giving our thoughts and our opinions on every single one. Today, we will be talking about MED and Guilty Simpson and their project, Child of the Jungle. My name is Holden Stephan Roy.
My name is Chris Chrome.
And yeah, that's what we do here. We talk about albums, go through each of the songs, whatever we think, let you know about it, have little discussions along the way, look a little awkward and goofy, and most of y'all watching it either appreciate it or hate it, and that's okay, because that means we're doing something right. If everybody loves what you do, you probably are not talking to the most honest people. But you YouTube comment folk, you are the most honest out there, and I appreciate your honesty so very much. I love the comments, so given y'all are most definitely bigger fans of both of these dudes than we are, we appreciate anything you have to say as you go through this review, because it will only help us get wiser at approaching the music as we go. On that note, we like to take some time to showcase our favorite comment on last week's video. And last week we talked about Chris, I don't know how to say it right, his album's Guns, and we had a really cool comment from Moselle Abdul Jabbar, and he says, "The gun is the metaphor for lust, ambition, desire, success, etc. The gun is a symbol for all things weaponized for positive or negative." And I thought that was a super insightful comment, type of shit that I hope that other people who are coming to the review read that in the comments, and we missed that point, so it's definitely going to add value to the review to have that kind of comment there. So it teaches us, it gets us to think about things differently, and so we really appreciate all of you watching it, even if you're down for the dislike. Nah, for real, just playing. We appreciate you. I don't know where I went with that. I got distracted. Have moments like that sometimes. Anyway, we'll get into it real soon. I want to give a quick shout out to the patrons: Ismail Gadamsi, DJ Black Hurricane, Lindell Williams, Jonathan Barnes, and Chris Prado. And they support what we do. We'll talk a bit about that at the end, but you probably might not watch that part, so just want to give them their shout out at the beginning, because we G like that. And yeah, without further ado, why don't we get into this review? Chris, why don't you tell the Google people what the keyword is again one more time?
So, for this week's episode 122 of the Headspace Podcast Reviews, we are doing MED featuring...
MED, bruh.
Well, it's an abbreviation. MED featuring Guilty Simpson on their collective project album, Child of the Jungle.
Yeah, so this came out, and as I understand it, there's a little bit of an absence of albums in respect to Mr. Nipsey Hussle, and this came out like right before, so I didn't realize that. I didn't think we should review Nipsey because I thought that might be considered cheeky. I don't know. It just seems like we're doing this to, grow. It's not the right thing to do, but one day in the future we'll review more of his music when some time has passed and it's just about honoring him. I didn't want to do it for the views, if you know what I mean. But in light of that, we figured we'd go back in time just a little bit, see what albums came out that were like dope.
2 weeks ago.
Well, I don't know. This is pretty recent.
Well,
Still,
March 29th.
Still, just wanted to take a look back because, we typically want to do the new albums. There wasn't a lot of new albums that I felt made sense for us to talk about, in the sense that we kind of have a better understanding of our fan base and what they might care about. So we're trying to be a little bit smarter with what we pick. Plus,
I feel like we've also taken on this venture of proving the people who are like, hip hop's dead, and just we keep finding albums every week that are.
I mean, that's true. I even said it earlier when we recorded a whole other one. So like the whole goal is almost like, if we're gonna talk about hip-hop in some way, right, we want to contribute in some way. So since we're gonna make a whole bunch of mistakes and sound a whole bunch of silly, the least we can do is find the underground and go find the albums that maybe the pop journalists aren't gonna talk about. Maybe some dudes Anthony Fantano's never heard of, or Adam 21 or whatever.
22.
Is it 22? I can't
Adam 22.
Adam 22 is gonna be like, nope, there's not enough auto-tune for me to put that shit on it. I no disrespect to those guys, but I mean, there's just a lot of great lyrical dope shit that keeps coming out, and I feel like for about 3-4 months in a row, it's just been dope hip-hop that we've been finding all in these new albums, even with our extra bonus episodes. So that's a lot of new albums. all within the last few months that have been released that are just ridiculously good.
But I guess that reinforces the point. Like, we've said it before, at least I've said it before. Like, if you're not going to go out and search for the lyrical albums, you're not going to get what you want to have.
You could make the same claim about other things, but I think what's different is that pop hip-hop is all over the charts. So people are a little bit skewed about who's getting pushes and how the game works and whatnot. But it's more than that. You got a lot of just people, well, there's just like a saturation of shit, but at the end of the day, people are kind of clung to this idea that, you know, the pop music reflects the underground. But still, it's also like not a lot of people want to put in that effort to really listen to it all and grow. And also, not a lot of people care about albums anymore. I might talk about this for the next like 20 intros, but singles is what's really hot, right? So you can be like, I've been fucking hoes and popping pennies, man, I feel just like a rock star. And no matter where you are or what you're doing, it comes on, it's a banger. But honestly, who the fuck cares what's on a Post Malone album? Maybe you liked it, maybe you do. I don't. We chose not to review it because I honestly didn't want to listen to the whole album. I just knew that maybe there'd be 2 or 3 catchy ones. But then when you look at guys like MED and Guilty Simpson over here, who I don't know a lot about, I know that they're at West Coast, maybe. I don't know actually where Guilty Simpson's from, but in general, it's like you got this feel of underground lyricism, this like adherence to what more of a traditional cultural side of hip-hop would put into almost the math of music or the knowledge sharing or whatever, like the authenticity to it, right?
Ooh, these are going to be nice points.
But these are like albums, so it's not meant to just be like one song, I think. I mean, you certainly can find a few of these that you find are bangers, but I feel like given the skits and the way that the different messaging is structured on this album, it really is an experience that you're supposed to put on and listen to as an album. And not a lot of people, I find, in my experiences, are willing to go through and look at albums as a whole because they're probably just a heavier time commitment. Like, what, is it 46 minutes or whatever? So if to really catch the nuances of an album 3-4 times you gotta listen to it, that's like, fuck, that's 3 hours. That's like a whole movie.
But I got a question. In terms of, like, we're discussing albums, right? And I'm just like, we've reviewed some albums that didn't have any skits on them, but those are still considered to be albums. Is there, like, do you... I'm not making it about the skits. I'm saying, like, no, just when you're producing an album...
I feel like there's a coherency to it. Like, you have to think about the song order at the very least.
Right, absolutely.
And just, is your album about a concept, or is it just, here's a bunch of songs? I mean, there are albums that are just a bunch of songs, and then I think that a lot more, the better side of albums are more cohesive projects with a flow to it or something, even if... Anyway, maybe I just think too much into it. I'm always curious to know what y'all think about it, but I want to kind of make this a conversation that people are asking so that we can go look at albums again. And when you look at albums again, a lot of guys who might not be popping when you look at their single, it just sounds so much better when you realize the whole album is consistent and dope. And then you take the guy who has like a banging single and you put on his album and it's like, oh fuck, I don't know that I'm down for like an hour of this shit. And that's kind of a thing where I feel like the single market is confusing the art of an album, and I'm just hoping that shit comes back with a fervor, so that's why we're here. Nice. Anyway, this was supposed to be the part of the show where we contextualize how familiar we are with the artists that we're talking about, because I think it's important, especially because part of just looking at it as an album is the history of you knowing them. So if you're like in the West, or you are in Canada and Montreal like us, or you know who they are and have been listening to their albums forever, or like you're like us, and I'm assuming, Chris, this is true too, it's like the first time you've heard of either of these guys. Although Guilty Simpson's a name I know I've seen before.
I was going to say MED's a name that we've seen before on an...
I feel like we've gotten to a point where like
we've crossed over enough artists to be like, oh, this is somebody we recognize as per the name, but...
Because they were featured on some other guy we'd never heard of's album. Because a lot of this is like an education, and I don't know. So now I know who MED and Guilty Simpson are, and that was really like cool. But like I know I'd seen Guilty Simpson on something we've covered, and I guess MED's been there too. And sometimes it's hard to remember all the features, but I think it's cool that like one day it'll be like we know them all.
I think actually it's safe to say, because I was looking through some of the track lists and I found some songs, some information. They work with Exile.
Yeah.
So I feel like it would be safe to, and they also have a feature with Blue as well.
Yeah.
So I feel like it's safe to say it may be one of that kind of like group them.
No, but we've done a whole bunch of these guys.
Of course.
Oh shit, somebody's on 86. Guilty Simpson is on 86 Witness by Sean Price and Small Professor, which I reviewed. I was dope because the production crew shouted me out on that one, which was fucking dope. But yeah, so I did know Guilty Simpson. I feel cool to remember him. I remember his voice. It's so distinct. Anyway, that's kind of what we're doing here, is just showing we like have heard of them, but this is our, I guess, safe to say my first album of either of these guys. Mm-hmm. Now, before we jump into it, because we're going to jump into it shortly, we have to talk about the lack of lyrics on the internet. This is the Genius speech. Genius is, like, in my opinion, the Wikipedia of lyrics. It is the genius of lyrics, and people can annotate it, and it's like a social media, and if you comment, you get IQ. It's very fun. But you know what's very sad? When really dope-ass artists drop their shit, and maybe Genius doesn't pay their people to, like, they have people that they pay to transcribe lyrics, but they're worried about, like, Drake and hot shit. Nobody's necessarily looking at MED and Guilty Simpson, apparently, because their lyrics are not up after 2 weeks, right? And then I look to the fans and I go, none of y'all? Not like one of y'all could have done it? And I don't mean that disrespectfully. Please don't take it disrespectfully. It's just... It takes a long time to upload lyrics, like an hour, easy to do, like a proper song, verify it, validate it, all that shit. Maybe 30 minutes. Maybe I'm exaggerating. I don't really know how long it'll take you. But by having the lyrics on the Genius site encourages the likelihood that people will notice it and give it buzz, because them kids, they read the lyrics site on everything. So, I mean, I know there's this desire that everybody and their brother is just going to listen and appreciate it and all, but it took me like 2 years to get my head around being able to just listen and catch it, all that shit, you know? It's a skill. Genius is a great life hack to get you to that point in less time, so if y'all want to see motherfuckers like MED and Guilty Simpson pop, a good thing to do is if you notice their lyrics are not on the site, just like take some time and put up a verse. Finish it, and then if we all work together and we all contribute in our own ways, we can give people like this shine. And like we do the reviews, this takes a lot of time. I'm not down to do the lyrics side, but I did write down a bunch of lyrics in each song that I could. But it's just a suggestion to the fans to give these guys an extra little bit of a boost in their search engine optimization viability and easiness with people who might not have the patience to listen, just to appreciate how brilliant they are as writers.
Well, I feel like maybe the artists themselves should have like some type of responsibility of putting out lyrics as well. Like just because like I feel like these guys, they have something to say. Like, and we'll get into it, and they have messages, but it's like, how am I...
But, like, really, is it the best use of an artist's time and resources to be uploading? Like, this to me should be fan-driven. Me, as a person, I don't mind uploading my own shit, because it takes... all of my writing's digital. Mm-hmm. But imagine it's not. Imagine you have all these fucking notes. Or imagine, like, you don't even have the note with the words on it. It's been a year.
Yeah.
And then you just gotta... Now you have to listen to it and transcribe it. And, you know, it's a time-consuming process. So I don't want to imply that anybody has to do this.
Right.
I'm saying that if anybody on the Guilty Simpson or MED teams are like watching this and y'all have somebody that can upload the lyrics like that, it would be good for your album sales in the long run just to have it there as a resource to kind of further validate to the lazy that y'all are dope. That's what I'm trying to say. On that note, let us move into this beautiful album cover where it's a little baby of black descent in front of like a stone looking wall, like a concrete wall, may I say, because it's a child of the jungle, the concrete jungle. I just wanted to do that. And it really sets the tone. And it really looks like this is going to be an album telling you a story about a series of an environment, of what it's like to have been born into this environment and to like grow up here, and giving you a little painting and a landscape of just maybe something that a lot of people may want to pretend isn't real, but this concrete jungle situation, which is the big city urban complexes, the hood is another way to put it.
Which strikes me?
No.
The kid doesn't look happy.
He does look like he's gonna knock me out,
like,
and that he could take me in that fight.
And I feel like that screams a message. I feel like kids are generally happy, generally smiley, laughing, or whatever. But like when you have the title Child of the Jungle, and you already kind of get that feeling of like the environment and this and that, and to see this kid's face just like already filled with kind of like despair and already kind of like not really have that glim in the eye, like that glisten or nothing, it really kind of gives you that like we're not coming from a happy place. Like we're not really happy to. They might be happy giving us the message and the stories, but I feel like the atmosphere, like the feeling of this is like it's not.
They're trying to let you know this is not a happy story. This is a real story. It's a good way, I think, to put it. Anyway, do you have more to comment here?
No, it's a very.
Chris, are you feeling mad?
No, I'm happy today.
Haters better get their shit together. They mad at us because they'll never get a bag.
So I believe I was telling you how the lyrics aren't available. So that creates a challenge where I have to write down stuff I heard, and I might have heard it wrong. And I'm not maybe the best transcriber of hip-hop lyrics with slang talking about things I might not have ever heard of. So if I fucked up, my bad. On that note, Mr. Christopher, what did you think of this track?
Well, right off the bat, I thought it had a really great intro beat. I get this kind of funky feel. I get this old school type of feel as well. Like, right off the jump, this doesn't sound like anything 2019. And I say that in terms of sonically, like, the flows kind of feel old school. The way that the rapping is still kind of feels like more old school. Even the beat selection and the way that they kind of bring it in, it just feels like 90s, early 2000. Like there's still that essence of like original, authentic hip hop, if you want to say that. But I didn't get like hints of like your modern trap, your auto tuning or that like that. So it was a really kind of refreshing sound in a way to kind of bring it back in a new 2019 album.
I think this one is produced by Madlib. I might be wrong, but Madlib gets shouted out right at the beginning. And Madlib's pretty fucking brilliant, so his brilliance definitely shines through on this work, on this beat.
So at first, I was really excited for the song. The flows are just insane. Like they're really just technically good. Like just the way they play with the syllables, the way they put their words together, and the way they make their sentences is great. I kind of got a hint of what the song might be about in terms of the chorus. It kind of goes like, kind of feels like a hater song. People are hating on them because they're like, people are mad that they're balling and that they have money and that they're kind of out here talented and stuff. So the chorus kind of gave me the premise of the song itself. The verses themselves kind of have like a little bit of knowledge and some bars as well. On verse 1, I think it's MED.
No, it's Guilty Simpson.
Is it?
Deep ass voice.
He goes, pulling my own weight, cause relying on another is sealing your own fate.
Yeah, it's a goodie.
And I really like that line. I really like the way he said it. I like the way he presented it. And it has this kind of like, I've overcome that need to find to rely on other people.
But it's even like more than that, right? It's that like the social responsibility of success comes from building your own shit. And that if you rely on other people for your success, or you go ahead and wait for other people to build you up, you're sealing your own fate in the sense that you'll never actually have it, and that the only way to do it is to like build it yourself.
Absolutely. So that was something that really kind of stuck out with me. And then I kind of felt like there was also just a bit of bars in terms of like flexing. We're kind of like, this is why we're the best. This is why we're kind of dope out here. Verse 2, there was some lines that I caught. I like when he went, every verse murdered swinging tomahawks, hating what I'm making got me breaking the vault. That was pretty cool the way he said that. I like the imagery of like the tomahawks being thrown and he's kind of murdering MCs with the bars and stuff. So that was cool. I like just how he went like, what I'm making got me breaking. Like that was just like the syllable play was nice. And then I like when he went still famine on the opposition, 5 gears shifting. And again, it's more of just the way he said it. It kind of sounds hype. It kind of proves that, like, it kind of alludes that he's got cars, he's got 5 gears, he's probably, like, you know, balling out. He's not really dealing with the ops or the opposition, so he's not kind of like paying mind to them. Something I really, really got from these guys, though, off the bat, is this type of boss mentality. And in the sense of just they're very kind of nonchalant with what they're saying. They're kind of just saying it. And there isn't, like, yeah, they have their flair and they're, like, animated and hyperactive and like, they got that energy. But the way that they use that energy to present the music, it's kind of like, yeah, we out here. We doing what we got to do. This and such is the move. Such and such is the case. And I really like that type of boss mentality of being focused and on that. So overall, I really liked the song, and I gave it a 4.5 on 5.
So, yeah, I mean, it comes in, and, I mean, there's a stark contrast between Guilty Simpson and MED that I think makes it really good to listen to. So, Guilty, man, this guy comes in with these slow, well-paced, and I want to talk about how good his timing is, as in he can just say a sentence and then hold down a pause and then, like, leave the beat open for, like, a little break. Like, other rappers would just be filling it in with an ad-lib, but he doesn't have to. He's giving you the opportunity to, like, ponder on whatever line he just said. And he says a whole lot of brilliant shit. Like, a lot of the stuff I quoted is just the start of the verse because it was it's not my favorite thing to do. Transcribing, I mean. But me and my dogs put in work. And it's like a little pause. Like, then he goes, make tracks like a foot in dirt. And that's actually really clever because what do feet, when they're walking through dirt, do? They make tracks. And what do him and his dogs do when they put in that work? They make tracks. That motherfucker was called the double entendre. But it's really, like, well written. But
right.
What I also like about Guilty Simpson is there's not, like, this hella hyperbolic flair. It's like, let's be real, make tracks like a foot in dirt. That's some regular ass shit. But he makes it sound so fucking fly and so fucking hard. And to quote Chris, so fucking boss. I really appreciate it. And this rap shit, something like dessert. And you're like, okay, so it's delicious, it's sweet, it's an enjoyable thing. Icing on the cake. I'm like, that isn't the most creative thing to put there, but it really works. Like, it fits and it hits the rhymes and it's all great. Ain't no breaks, we speed through. He's who you fear, so say your prayers for a redo. You know, like, and it's just got this, like, damn, they're confident. They know exactly what the fuck they're doing. They consistently pushing forward. Then, you know, another line I really enjoyed is, all you fake friends can die slow. Quick death means you miss guilt's highlight show. And he doesn't want you to just die. He wants you to slowly and agonizingly watch him rise to success, come up over the top, become absolutely ridiculously great so that the haterness oozes through you and consumes your soul, and then die, slow and painfully. And it's just...
then die.
Yeah, it's what it is. And then the hook is pretty dope. It's kind of what it is. It's a little scratchy. It's classic sounding. I feel like it's very classic sounding, and it's nice.
Yeah, it's got that DJ type feel to it, that, like, little break and scratches.
So I had a problem with MED. I feel like Guilty Simpson is absolutely stunningly clear. Every syllable, every word. There's a lot of things MED said that I struggled to pick up, and I kept having to rewind it as I was writing shit down. And I don't know if that was the mixing, that was just my ear or whatever, and it just made me feel a little bit like I liked Guilty Simpson more just because it was so much easier to hear what he had to say. And I feel like in some cases, like, Guilty just sounds like he's loud and he's on top of the beat, and then MED is just more like in the beat, you know? I don't know if you know what I mean.
So I did have the same type of feel as well. I kind of struggled with MED as well, but I don't think it's because of the mixing. I think that I like Guilty Simpson because he's simple. And simple in the sense of me and my dogs put in work.
No, but but it's not that MED.
Hold on, because I'm saying that MED, he has more of the big word flow.
I don't know if that's. I'm talking literally like the volume.
Okay,
and
because
like
that was my thing.
The
like,
way that the mids and his voice were so similar, it was like sometimes hard to pick up like parts of his flow. Like I don't. I'm not trying to be like an excuse giver here. I'm just explaining my experiences with the mix because we're reviewing shit. But I still picked up bars because I felt like it was worth doing, and I noticed that MED likes to floss a little more. Still faming on the opposition, 5-gear shifting, he limping off his top like sweet lifting. It's metaphysics what I spit, West jurisdiction. Ain't trying to kill, but I'm twitching. My niche keep nicks, smoking stench, and a hieroglyphic script. And I was like, man, the fact that he is mixing up the like $8 words with the other side of the more urban vernacular is truthfully fucking impressive writing. And it's just next level. I relate to Guilty Simpson's tone and mission a little bit more, but it's almost like you got that calmer, slower, wise thinking type guy, and that more flashy, aggressive, like on the grind. He's still wise, don't get me wrong, but different kind of wisdom kicking on through. It's like two separate styles of the same thing, and I really enjoyed the way these two songs work together. I mean, the essence of the song is we fly, you mad because we winning, and I get it, man, because both these guys sound legitimate as fuck to me. Like, I don't know how to describe it, but sometimes you hear rappers rapping and you're like, there's something preposterous about cooking up dope with an Uzi. Like, anybody that like values money probably.
That's not a fair line. They made a song with Lil Uzi, and if you listen to it like really quickly, cooking up dope with Lil Uzi.
Okay.
So it's like a call into the feature, but it also works with cooking up dope with the Uzi with the gun.
So back to that point. It's just such an. I mean, yes, cooking up dope with Lil Uzi is fine, but like if we think about the idea of
Yeah.
It's just a weird use of a gun when you could just kind of use a spoon.
No, because then I can make the argument of they're in a crack house cooking up dope and they have the Uzi there to protect them from the crack fiends.
So why would you put it in?
Because you're taking it super literally, which I do understand, but I think
you know what neither MED or Guilty Simpson did? It gave me that feeling.
Fair.
On any part of this album.
Fair.
There were no lines that made me feel like this is some preposterous shit. Like they didn't say Ratatouille. I don't know why I'm going off. I really like Bad and Bougie at this point. That's growing on me. But what I'm saying is I know that the Migos may actually be very legitimate, but there's something about their grandiosity that just feels so not like this. This sounds legitimate to me. This sounds like guys who, like, you don't really hear them bragging about a life per se. They're just guys bragging about putting in work to achieve some means that aren't afraid to do some shit to you if you cross them. They give off that vibe.
It sounds like instead of kind of talking about your end result, like a lot of Migos is like, I got the bag, I got the money,
well
said.
And
it's the end result.
And
of
these
where
guys
you
are
did.
about the process, about how they're getting there. That's great distinction. Maybe that's the difference between the real ones and the fake. The guys is just about, oh, I got this, etc., and there's nothing else to them, versus guys who are like, I have to put in work to achieve a goal. And then when the guy gets the goal, he's just one of those dudes who's real, so all of a sudden there's a new goal and a new goal. Like, look at Jay-Z as an example. He got real rich and real famous and said, fuck it, I'm going to be a black billionaire. That's a goal. Now when he achieves that, what, you don't think he's going to say, I'm going to make $1 trillion?
Right.
You know, like, that's just how it should work. So you're always watching this person go through some kind of grind, and I don't know, maybe we're just kind of getting lost on a side point. Still, I like the fact that an album can evoke those kinds of feelings in a person. I gave this song, though, a 4.25. While I really enjoy Guilty Simpson a lot, MED, I enjoy, don't get me wrong, but a little bit less. I just feel like, I don't know, this song didn't really hook me. I was like, this is really talented and really well done and really well made.
Nice.
But there are other songs on this album I think I like a little bit more. It's a strong introduction, don't get me wrong, but it's 4.25 on 5 is not a bad grade. It's just what it is. Why don't we move on, though, while I have visions of supper after this podcast.
Me and the paper got the closest bonds. I love to MC, but not.
So what I came to realize is that in terms of what Guilty Simpson and MED do, they do really, really well, and they very much stick to what they do in this bar-driven, kind of painting pictures of environment and different things type flows. Like, it really reminds me of that 90s hip-hop where, like, you'd have a bunch of rappers describing shit through allegory and metaphor.
Right.
Mixed in with a lot of truth. Don't get me wrong. Like, yo, I started with pennies, puffing Newports, passing Henny. Sorry, this is Guilty Simpson starting us off. All about taking what we wanted, like, gimme. Never had. I mean, that's, like, look at that line. All about taking what we wanted, like, gimme. And the truth is, if you really think back to your life when you were young, as a kid especially, like, even as a kid, it was always gimme, gimme, gimme. I want it, you know?
Right.
And so he's just like, yo, it's that basic.
But it's not even, I don't want to, it's not just basic. It's like the way he says gimme, there's a pause in the verse. It's like
pauses.
It's like he kind of acts it. So he goes, starting with pennies, puffing Newports, passing Henny, all about getting what I wanted.
Like,
gimme. And it's like you can see him really reaching out and trying to take it, and I like that emphasis.
Like, never had much to offer but the blue collar way to make a dollar. That elbow grease and dedication. Somehow, some way, I keep pacing. Wishing I could use that time to keep wasting. And man, that I can relate to, right? Because, well, I'm not so blue collar no more, but I was. And when you at that workplace, and I mean, the problem with blue collar is the lack of actual financial gains. So it's not like you're able to make more money like you can in white collar, which is more possible, but you still go to work.
I need an update. Blue collar, white collar.
Blue collar is like manual labor, factory jobs, you know, all that kind of shit.
Okay.
White collar is like office jobs. So like a call center is a white collar job. Even it's a kind of hybrid, but it's more white collar than it is blue, because you're not really using your body on the line. You're not really working with that shit. So you can just picture him in like some town where there's like a factory, or like back in the day, the coal mines. It's like this dirty ass, grimy, dredge of society work. And I don't mean that disrespectfully to blue collar people. I fucking love blue collar people. Y'all are the realest motherfuckers out there to me. I work in white collar America. It's just what it is. It is not the most pleasant place. I have to smile when I talk about white collar America. That's the kind of place it is. I mean, so I really respect that, because you just picture this environment where people may not be very rich, but people work very hard, and there's a lot of ethic into that shit, you know? But while you're at work and you're putting in that thing for less money than you're worth, your brain is just fantasizing about walking my thoughts through the possibilities, and the potential is killing me. The what ifs, the pros and cons, skating thin ice on the frozen pond. Me and paper got the closest bond. I led the MC, but not enough to do this shit for free. Slick talker. And I thought that was really cool, because as he's flowing through, dreaming about his life, he realizes, as I think many people do, as much as you love making art, is it really worth doing it for free? Fuck no. If there was like a 0% chance I could make money off of that shit, I don't think I would just do it and publish it. I would just write it for me and nobody else would hear it, and then it's like a project. But anybody that's putting their shit out on the regular, putting thousands and thousands of dollars in albums and shit, like, should they really be performing it for free? I don't know. Even if they're trash, man, if you give them a little $50 or something, maybe they'll feel encouraged to get better. I don't know. Maybe we've got the whole shit backwards right now. But I really like that. I like the fact that he has self-value. He actually has the discipline to go do things he might not want to do to achieve his bigger goal. He has a vision, and he's fucking talented and shit. And then you have Georgia and Muldrow singing on the chorus. It was nice. I don't have a lot more to comment on her. MED definitely follows suit on the topic. While you think gallons of ink wrote the four seasons, the pink tour visas to let the world see, beaming lights, odds even the key of life. When you buy what you like and never see a price. When your mom quit the job, tell her bills are mine. Doing fine for never walking a grad line. And you really like get the sense of them being on tour and actually achieving all this shit and having the success through the music, and like maybe finally paying the bills, or paying, you know, dealing with their parents and so providing for them, and really just kind of coming through after such a significant period of putting in work on a grind. And you just get that sense of satisfaction that these are guys who have committed to these visions, which really coincides with all the success stories of how you're supposed to get there, to visualize your future 10 years from now and work backwards. How can you achieve your goals? And then basically, if you do the math backwards, you figure out what you have to do every year to get to where you need to be. So I also like when he goes, when your focus hates another form of pep talking. And I like that, because you're committed to your grind, and people have all these pep talky speeches and shit that they give you, this good advice that makes a whole lot of sense if you're trying to achieve what that person's trying to achieve. But often you're trying to do your own thing, which is completely different. And I don't know, I don't like to take advice from people who aren't extremely successful, or at least relatively successful in specific fields that I want to be in, and only in their advice in regards to those kinds of things. So I really appreciated that, because I like focus. Basically, yeah, I like this one a lot more. This one really hit me in a more positive, like it got me thinking kind of way. They're both very talented MCs. 4.5 on 5.
Nice. So this song kind of gave me a lot to think about, and it's kind of what I want to show. I want to show this song to a lot of people I know, and a lot of like people who are kind of upset that I don't really chill with them anymore, because I'm doing all of these things and trying to, you know, get myself on that track to achieve my visions and my goals and my dreams. And the way that I kind of took the song is like they're kind of reinforcing the reason that all of this worked. They're kind of reinforcing the ambition and the fact that they had visions, whether it's as a kid, teenager, however old, that they wanted to attain. And something that kind of happens to me on a daily basis is that, you know, I'll go to work, I make friends at work, I make bonds, whatever, and suddenly, you know, people want to go out, chill, and do all this stuff, which is cool. Social interactions are great. But, you know, with the podcasting and everything, I have a very limited schedule in terms of having to get stuff done and making sure we're up to date. And a lot of the times I catch myself going like, sorry guys, you know, I'm busy. And it tends to seem like they're all kind of mad at the fact that I can't come out tonight. I can't do this. Now, as much as I feel like, oh, you know, thanks for, you know, like you guys are going to miss me, and that I guess makes me feel good or whatnot. But it's the other fact of I'm out here living my dream. I'm chasing my visions. And I have this type of ideology that it's like, there's two types of people in the world that I kind of see it. People who have visions and people who don't. And if you don't really have visions and you kind of just want to work and go home and watch Netflix and play games and just kind of live life, I don't think you really understand what it's like to be like, oh yeah, you're done work. No, I'm not. I'm going to record for the next 4 hours. Like, my Saturday's still continuing. You're going out to dinner. I'm going to have to go record. It's like the value and the priorities are different. And that's kind of what I took from this song, is that they're like kind of explaining how we stuck to our goals, we stuck to our vision and our ways of doing things, and this is the result. And that's really what I kind of took away from the whole track. You quoted a lot of the lines that I wanted, so I'm not even going to go over those. But I did like how on the hook, it was like, I had a vision, gave it all. I gave it all I got, now that's living. And that really stuck out because, you know, when you do give your everything into something and you feel that passion and that dedication and you're just happy, like you're genuinely happy about what you do for something or some project, like there's no better feeling, at least for me, there's no better feeling than like dropping a hot freestyle or releasing a song that's really good, or like, you know, people give good feedback or whatnot. So that was kind of how I took that line, and that was also really good. And in verse 2, I like another line where it was kind of cocky. We used to believe, now we the new conceited. And it's like, okay, that's awesome, the way you're kind of taking ownership of what you have and the fact that you can be conceited because you've put in this work, you've made the journey, you've gotten this far. Like, there's certain things where you can kind of be like, oh, well, fuck it, it's my life, I'll do what I want. So it was awesome. Overall, the energy was great. I like how they have that sense of determination. I gave the song a 4.5.
You know what, Chris? That's dope.
You know what this reminded me of?
Action Bronson. That's what it made me think of.
Shit, I went to Nas.
That's that new shit. Brap, brap, shit. I don't know. Something about that just made it sound like Action Bronson or Ghostface Killer. Just that kind of. I don't know if it's actually them, but I don't know. Just that's what it made me think of, like an Action Bronson record.
Kind of reminded me of the opening of Nas, the Illmatic. The way that, like, they're kind of like, come over here, and they're kind of in the playground and whatnot. Like, that voice, it kind of reminded me of that. So.
I don't know. I just heard, in my head, I heard Action Bronson just kind of spitting me how there's some new shit in life, and this is that. Because you got dope before. It's some good. This other, you had us. We're good music. We done our shit. We proper. Here's the new version. Bump that shit. Brap, brap. And then, it's a dope beat. I don't know. I guess it's just a little break to introduce it. I wasn't sure what to do with this little skit thing, so I gave it a 4.1. It sounded really nice. Did very little for me.
I ended up giving it a 3.7. I thought it was cool. I just think that it was a little too early to kind of have this type of break.
I mean, it's like, what, the third song?
Yeah, it is. It's the third song. Now, the other part of me is kind of going, maybe it's setting up to be like, there's going to be dope stuff that we're going to talk about now. Maybe like drug related or, dope in terms of bars. Or maybe it could be like the last two songs were dope and then they're just giving you that kind of, like they're literally just giving you that smoke break feel.
It's also like maybe if we think about the concept of Child of the Jungle, the skits here are just the little environmental cues that like a kid's gonna actually hear, like maybe while that's being said about the music, it also is the type of language that you might hear as a kid and being a child of the concrete jungle.
Right. So
anyway, I give it a 4.1. It's fine. Yep.
Next.
The hundreds is next. So this one has MED starting us off instead of Guilty Simpson, and that beat is
funky,
old school, like your head bopping. You almost can picture a car bopping, like boom to the, like the cars bouncing.
The bouncy cars.
Because like I'm in Montreal, Quebec, where bouncy cars are illegal. I know they're not called bouncy cars, but if we really think about it, do we not make the cars bounce with the hydraulics? Are they not just
called lowriders?
Aren't they just bouncy cars? I like it. I bet there's a whole bunch of kids out there who agree with me and call them bouncy cars.
Well, let's have a poll. Do you rather prefer bouncy car or is it considered lowriders that just jump? I don't know. You let us know in the comments.
Or you know what? I'm going with bouncy cars because I can't have it in my city, so fuck that. I'm just going with bouncy cars. But it's definitely like you just feel that energy popping in.
Yep.
And then there's a guy whose name is Kokane, spelt with K's so that he gets around censors. But it's just Kokane. And I believe he's the singy dude on the hook because I'm guessing. I hope that's who it was because I couldn't figure it out otherwise.
Keep it 100 and real.
But I realized that this is about like being legitimate and being 100% authentic, which is definitely fitting for this project in terms of the type of mentality of how to like survive that environment, But fuck, is it bouncy? Like new wave, new days, shady something, keep 2 trays. MED need a Rockefeller chain. She let me hit, then I J on the dame. I believe that he's implying jizzing with that J, like he's blasting in her face or something. Hate it or love it, money is the game. You can't ball without, I think he says, balls in your hands, boy. Party ain't a part till sun walk. I was trying hard here, I'm sorry.
The party ain't a party till I walk in?
I don't think that's what he says, though. I think he says, like, something else. Like,
the sun's waking up?
The sun walks, like, it goes down and it becomes nighttime.
Oh.
That's what I took, at least. Something make her fall on a hard-on.
Or until the sun walks as in waking up.
Maybe.
Oh, okay.
Off the leash, so damn west that I headed back east, 360 to Long Beach. I just love the way he flows this shit and the way it just sounds. And it's really like, it just feels kind of flossy. Like they're enjoying their shit. They're 100% like loving the success that comes from this whole situation.
I think it's, this song kind of gave me that, that feel that, again, more of that boss, more of that being authentic and original to yourself.
And then Guilty definitely does the second verse. I took out for my own, trying to get back to the love showing, cause I'm real, cause the beat kicks in. I love how he plays on that shit. I expect him to be the same way. If I'm gone, put faith in me, that way I know who to blame if things go sour. So I really, if not, I'm gone. Cause yeah, so basically what he's saying there is, I try to keep it real. I expect the people around me to be real, and I put my faith in myself. So if things get fucked up, I have the accountability to blame myself, On second thought, something get limited when you violate hours. Don't make me flex my power. Did my share of negative. I'm tired of it. Glad nobody died of it. Now it's studio time where we vibe a bit. But I hide the clip inside the whip. Can never be too safe, I guess. It's a blessing each time I take a breath. And again, you got that simplicity to what he's doing, Guilty Simpson, where he shows his accountability to himself and has shifted his thinking away from maybe a more negative, toxic environment into something more positive like the music, but there's still that real threat that exists in his life, something that's always on his mind. So he's so appreciative of his life, and I think like it just oozes on through. And again, it's like two perspectives where MED's kind of seems like he's more of a fun guy, he's a little more of a conventional flossy kind of guy, where Guilty Simpson just seems to be so into like that deep power type shit, and I really appreciate that contrast. So I mean, the hook is nice. I gave this one another 4.25.
Nice. I really like this song. I really like the feel to it. I like the energy. I like the bump. It's just really, it really kind of just takes you on that vibe. The funkiness and the sound is great. It really kind of just like kind of caught me off guard in a really positive way. Like, it was just super different. The chorus by I also assumed it was Kokane, was just different. Like, it just the way that the vocals came in, and the way that they kind of just chopped it up and kind of went a little bit quick but also slow was just really cool. I like how they were discussing that he's able to go from like East Coast to West Coast and nobody really cares, because that really kind of shows like he's legit and he kind of handles himself and he knows how to adapt to different types of areas. So that was cool. I didn't really catch many lyrics from this song. You're not gonna lie, I got distracted by the actual vibe of the track, and I just caught myself kind of dancing to the song over and over and over again.
It's got a good beat.
It's really good. Like, it's really, really good, and I kind of feel like they were just kind of like flexing on the track in terms of like explaining why they're being real and what it is to just be yourself and really work at being true. But I left it with a 4.7. It's good. It's really, really good.
I enjoyed it, don't get me wrong. I don't know. Either way, Dedicated is the next song. I'm dedicated to being honest with this shit.
In the streets for the east, for the peeps. I'm looking for a sign of relief, but
I really like this one, man. To me, this beat is just next level. It really steps up. Plus, it's one of those tracks where the production is like fucking diverse and shit. It's like the beat flips up all in the middle. It's like when MED's doing his part. And overall, I was just like enthralled with it. Like, I really felt the groove and the vibe of it. But meanwhile, kind of starts off and they're like hyping and kind of talking about over each other a bit, and I love how Guilty Simpson's like no excuses, find a way to make her through this shit. And it really shows that when they're talking dedicated, it's about being dedicated to your grind and you're getting to where your goals are. We already know that there was some visualization required, right? Yeah. So we've set up a preface for what you have to do to get there. You got to keep it 100. You got to be pure. You have to figure out your plan, and now you have to stick to that shit and remain dedicated to it in order to achieve. But I like how both the verses start with like, I hate that it had to come to this, kind of giving a little consistency. But in Guilty's version, it's broke nights, game planning with my main man, sick and tired of the barely getting by, plotting a way to raise bands for the name brands, smoking good but I'm barely getting high, barely getting why some people contend with no goals and struggling to eat. I couldn't live with myself, nothing on the rent, even if I had to get it in the streets. And then it kind of flows on from there, but just to give you like a taste for what he's doing with it. And it's like, he's looking around, and his guy are figuring shit out. Maybe they're crossing certain sides of the law. Maybe they're doing some things that they don't want to be doing. But when facing the option of not being able to handle their own situations, they're choosing whatever means necessary to achieve. Whereas baffled by the idea that so many people are willing to just sit there and be complacent and not really chase anything, even if they can't afford to pay rent or even fucking eat, they still sit there and don't do anything. I thought that was really like powerful in general. It has like that tone to it. MED comes on through in the second verse, and he starts it off again. I hate that it has to come to this. Swindles and misfits. 666 sick. With my man on my fate slip. You can't convince him better days when it's late, right? The homie nodded like he going through the same shit. We night shift. Switching transactions in the shadows for the flip. My environment's broken promises. Liars walking fire and didn't get a tint. My lady stressy because I'm out late trying to stretch a zip.
Hey.
And it's just like, there's a couple of cool, interesting things there. So just being on that grind all night, the panic and worry of having to sell drugs to get by in the middle of the night because it's the only choice. But just to run into somebody who he realizes that when your rent is late and you can't pay your bills, you can't educate these people. Their faith is broken. Everyone's caught up on the darkness. And as you express your shit, it's like anyone you run into, well, they're going through the same thing you are. And this is just such a commonplace situation. I just thought this one was so real and so powerful, and I guess DJ Rome's made the beat. I'm not certain if he did something else, but it was just a really well put together song. I thought it was pretty like a standout on this project. I gave it a 4.5 on 5. I really dug it.
Nice. So is it just me, and I could be crazy,
Maybe.
but does the intro to this song do not sound like Dancing Queen from ABBA?
I didn't hear it.
I heard it every time I replayed the song. I was like, this has like a nice feel to it, just the way it kind of starts up. I also kind of like how there has this like 2000 to 2005 vibe to it. Like, again, the music that they're picking and the type of sounds that they're using doesn't sound like anything 2019 in terms of your trappy, auto-tuney vibe. Like, these are kind of, in a way, I kind of feel like I'm younger again. Like, a lot of the sounds and a lot of the kind of vibes that they're pulling off is making me feel like I'm chilling with my dad as a youngin' and listening to like hip hop and classic hip hop. So it's pretty cool how they got that vibe. I mean, for me, this song kind of follows suit in terms of just reinforcing the fact that they stay dedicated to their grind. They did what they had to do. But I like how they both kind of start off with this whole like, I can't believe it had to come to this, as if in like the environment and the options were so limited for them that they kind of had no choice but to stretch a zip late at night or to do certain movements or actions that they had to do. And a lot of more and more, as we do a lot of these reviews, it seems like a lot of the issue is coming from this environment that they're forced to be in. That they kind of get stuck, they just get stuck there and not being able to do anything, and they have to manage on their own. And it's really like, it's kind of heartbreaking. Like it doesn't sound like your average rapper who's, yeah, I'm out here selling weed because I fucking want to. This is like, no, I'm doing this because I need to eat. I'm doing this because I don't have any other options that I've got left. I need to make $1. I need to make sure my family's good. And you can kind of hear that they want to be, I'm going to say better people. I'm not saying they're not. I'm saying that.
See, I feel like they've already achieved better people, and they're more reminiscing on that process to get there.
Exactly. I exactly, because I feel like the way they're presenting the song in terms of the aspect is like they want to do better, but they kind of have to do with what they have right now.
But I feel like it's also like, to be better, you have to be dedicated to doing
yes,
whatever needs to be done, even the worst of the things.
Of course. For me, though, the song kind of fell at a 4.3. It was great. The lyrics were good. The flow was good. I just think that the song itself was a little bit more slower for me, per se. But
all right.
4.3 is still a good mark.
Well, 4.3 is almost like 3.14, which is pi.
3.14159.
My shit. Fuck the cost, only gripes what I'm finna make. Bam, die for knew he wouldn't have.
Might be wrong. Oh no, is that not what this one is?
No.
It is. It is. Witness the winter begins. Slim hunger and tender. Maybe I'm
No,
wrong.
this is a whole song about people doing what they have to do for their piece of the pie, which would be the money.
No, there is one about fucking women. I got
There
a
is.
little bit confused. Sorry. Anyway,
This song's actually pretty cool though.
Shit.
Like the sentiment of getting your piece of the pie is true. Everybody's out here
Right.
trying to
I
struggle
have it
and
written shit in front of me too, and I just fucked up. Go on.
we're all out here trying to make our bag, trying to make our money, trying to get our piece of the pie. And the way that I kind of took the lyrics is like it's not just them explaining their life, but they're kind of also explaining like why they know other people in the area, the hood, the project, the ghetto, whatever you want to consider it to be, the environment. They're also doing what they do, whether it's like robbing you, jacking, fighting, selling drugs, whatever. They're doing these actions in regard, because to them, this is how they're going to get their piece of the pie. And it kind of has this like this ominous feel of just like everybody's kind of so into their own zone and just doing what they're doing in their own, like, because they feel like it's the right way to get to what they think is what they want. And I kind of feel like MED and Guilty Simpson are kind of going like, you can achieve your part, you can get your piece of the pie, you just need to do it on, like, you need to find your way of doing
Well,
it.
I mean, it's almost like it's a perfect follow-up to the last track, which is like dedication. So you put in all this fucking work, and then you have pie, which is more a little bit the reward that comes,
Right.
from, or at least the dream. Like I feel like in this sense, it's like they're still out there grinding, but they're picturing exactly what it's gonna be like, or they're kind of living it. It's not necessarily clear, but I like that because it creates this connectivity to it. Like part of them is superhero and part of them is still regular person all at the same time.
Right. In verse 2, and these are some of the lyrics that kind of made me think of this.
Which is Guilty does verse 2.
So he goes, we used to down 40s in the hood with the hoods that are down for me. So you got a sense of loyalty. You got a
That
sense
is
of
such
kind
a
of just
good line.
chilling out, having a good time. Look around, shorty, this all we got, beat up blocks. So it's like you really get that sense that like they really don't have much. Like they're kind of implying like we got beat up blocks, we got beat up this.
And
Like,
then
it's
it's
not
like
happening.
fiends taught to get high as a Sears Tower. Stories, busy motherfucker, make an hour for me. You owe me. That debt you got is killing you slowly.
Yeah, that was something.
And I
like
thought
that.
it was like interesting, right? Because in the sense that if you don't pay him, he's gonna fucking get you. But also, everyone kind of has debt these days, and it's literally adding stress to our lives, which is literally killing us all slowly. But don't let it make you distant. We doing edibles courtside watching the Pistons. Cross me better be Christians. Keep your sneaky disses cause I'm never be listening.
Cross me better be Christian. That was cool.
It's like you better be like fucking good people because you're gonna die and you're going up, you know? You better be ready for that shit.
Cross, the Christian cross, Jesus.
But it's also like
Yeah.
Anyway,
That's
it's
cool.
really well written shit, and like I'm really fucking feeling it. I mean, Guilty's proper. I'm not even gonna lie, but like I really we used to down 40s in the hood. That was down for me. It's such a cool rhyme because in the hoods becomes almost like a centerpiece to the same rhyme right before and after it. That's fucking creative. I don't see that a whole bunch. I'm certain that people watching the comic can think of a whole bunch of examples, but I don't see it a whole bunch. And then you got MED, who has like again a different tone on it, but like Witness the winter begins, slim hunger and tender, born sinners committing crimes, then join killers, snake slithers pillage with the young dope dealers, bundle we gon' sell it to something, keep it trillis, bubble champagne spilling, early PM trying to cope, eyes closed, see my death, deep breath, praise the Lord, we live and dig in the grave, mixing weed and it just flows. But I feel like MED just paints this landscape of like these kids in this environment where they're learning all the worst things from the worst people because this is what you have to do because it's cold and it's dark and you're hungry and you got it, whatever. It's just paints it really well with the imagery. Champagne sitting on ice, all I need is a wife, is how he ends the verse. And I'm like, it's like, so once you get it out, what's also still important is that love and companionship. Like, it isn't just completely vapid. Like, there is substance to what they desire and shit. And you just feel like why they're chasing money, what they'll do with it. It's got a great push to it. Joyce Wrice sings on it, I believe. And overall, I give it a 4.2. I thought it was like a good song. It's not one of my favorites, but it's also really well made and really enjoyable.
I left the song with a 4.3. I think the same. I think it's a really good track. The imagery and the type of like concept they're trying to bring to the table is really well done. I just feel like the song was a little bit slow for me. That's it. Like, just in terms of the type of energy I like having on music.
All right, Chris. We're gonna head outside and have a little smoke break. Yeah. So it's got this really old school beat playing for like just over half a minute. You can kind of hear like everybody something in the background, but I couldn't really make out what the other word was. And it's just like a little hard beat.
Maybe it's like Everybody Get Down. If we're gonna like
maybe
kind of think of like the environment and stuff. Maybe they're
I just like it literally says something. Don't know what it is. It could be Everybody Get Down, but either way, I give it a 4. Like, I'm not 100% certain the purpose of it on the project, but I guess it's a little break from the rapping and everything, just a little jam of like environmental nuance, maybe. I don't know. It's fine.
I give it a 3.8. I thought it was cool. I think that because I had the same feeling as well. Like, I didn't really know some of the skits so far. I was kind of just like, they're just there. But I think that for me, I feel like because there's no lyrics, there's not a lot of lyrics, you might want to repeat the song a bunch of times to kind of really understand and try to really hear what they're saying. So I guess they're maybe like giving you kind of breaks between the album. Because let's be clear, at like a first, second, third listen, it's still pretty heavy to digest. Like,
but like, it's so short, and it just like I don't know what the point is.
It's like a smoke break,
I guess. I don't know. I mean, maybe like if I understood the greater purpose or like how it connected to songs, it would make sense to me. But to me, it's just like, okay, that was there and it sounded okay.
Nice. 3.8.
I don't know. The next one though, I have a different feeling about. It's called Lock and Load.
Beat the blown, police release my bro, we swooped them in that broom. Renegade innovative.
This beat is stellar. It's got all sorts of really fast drummy bits in it. It's hype. It's just so fucking good. I don't know how to describe how much I like this beat. It just like I feel like it was the first one I heard on the project that just lit me up and made me just feel like I vibed and I had to listen to this song. Like, just from a beat perspective, this might be one of my absolute favorites on this project. It's just so good. MED starts us. I mean, the chorus is wicked. It's just you get the sense that they're pushing, they're just rumming, like lock and low, ready to fucking go. And then MED starts us off with lock and low, blow the pocket, bulge and pull, stock and loans. Come picture me rolling, bitch. I don't stop and pose. Missing liquor with holy water, guarding my soul, father my low, heavenly, heavy heaven below. Fetty something, I did it on my own. Didn't need a feature to leech it. Each his own is the beef I swing. If in the beef I swing, you sleep, wake up, realize a week is gone. And he's basically rich, or he's got a lot of money and he's heading out and he doesn't deal with the drama, doesn't stop and pose, deal with pictures and shit. It's like, I'm ready to go. I'm fucking flying. You either in it or you're not, you know. And I love his like alcohol reference mixed with holy water. It was kind of a nifty juxtaposition of ideas, but like it's almost like the alcohol soothes his soul because that's how he copes in the situation.
Shit.
And then he like knocks you out with his shit so hard that you pass out for a fucking week, and then it just flows on from there. I ain't right anymore, but it's just so good. And then Guilty comes in and does the same type of shit. He keeps a good full of lullabies. I couldn't make out the first.
I have a clip full of lullabies.
Okay, families hug and cry, tough guys duck and dive, hello from the other side, hello from the other side. Yeah, that's right.
Keep a clip full of lullabies.
And then I let another fly, different street, same cred, this something must be brain dead. I keep it on me, my sidekick, I ride with it, link that I drive with it, pushing that fly shit for wannabe John Wicks, you axe up. I'm Jax Teller in the math truck, I do way more than rap tough. And it's just like, oh, he just comes in, he's unloading clips. It's just tough. It's just fucking heavy hitting. I don't know, man. I love this song. This is one of my favorites on this album. I give it a 4.75 on 5. If I were going to recommend something to a lot of people that I think would like try to introduce them to these guys, it would be this track for like the more hype side of people. While it might not be the most lyrical one in terms of dense subject matter, it's just so fun to listen to.
Yeah, that's pretty much my feeling towards this song as well. It is called Lock and Loaded, and there is a lot of like more of a concept around like, don't fuck with us, we'll shoot you, we'll kill you, we're kind of badass, and we kind of have this type of mentality. But I also kind of feel like it's also alluding to just locked and loaded in terms of verses, because if I'm not mistaken, MED kind of does like really tricky flows. Like, it's not just one simple flow. He goes on this double time, and then he pauses and he switches up and he slows down. Like, he's all over the verse, which is hype. Like, I kind of feel like this is one of those just tracks where it's like, yo, me and you were going to write a verse, and it's just bars for days. And it's just whatever you have to say, whatever works right, whatever rhymes together, whatever it is, and just have fun with the beat. And that's kind of how I took this song, and that's kind of what it is. And it's really great. Really, really great. I left it with a 4.5. That's really it.
It's really great, but the truth is, it's all about that loyalty. Loyalty.
Loyal me with loyalty, yeah. Loyalty, know your enemy, keep your friend.
Alright, so it's Kung Fu Kenny now. My resume is real enough for 2 millenniums. A better way. Oh, wait. Sorry. Wrong loyalty. Wrong loyalty. No, this one starts off with MED. And he's like, yeah, running from my demons, bare seas, pears breathing down my neck. Again, if I fucked it up, the lyrics are not on Genius. This is all what I heard and transcribed. Finessing death threats, pay our own respect, G-check, keep the tech in the cut like C-sections. I was like, that's a fucking, like, because you got to keep the tech in the cut like C-sections because you cut a baby out with a C-section. I'm like, that's fucking hard. That one, like, really stood out to me. Posse like the model for success. Pose like the model for success because you pose like a model, but he's the model for success. I was like, that's fucking clever as shit. Pose pray us opposite, so they don't want us to be the models for success. They want us to be the models for failures. Fuck your foes. Foes are assholes. MEDs on that Sky News, views from the choppers on top of it. What the gossiping get because you judge ain't no one of it. Right in the bench, friends snitching on COs playing both sides of the fence. And it just kind of flows, and it really just kind of looks at loyalty, you know, like you've got your past and the things that haunt you, etc., maybe due to a lack of loyalty in a sense, and then it makes you kind of appreciate that these are unloyal people that might be coming at you. And overall, it's just kind of observing the lack of loyalty in the environment. Then there's Black Shakespeare on the hook. It's kind of like this really dope ode to being pure and loyal, you know, with the consequences of what happens otherwise. And I love his voice. I'm pretty sure it's him. I clicked on his other stuff on Spotify, and it seemed like he was the guy with the more Caribbean sounding accent. So I really liked what he did. I thought he brought a whole life to this track. Guilty kicks in with like, I had to learn, folks, these clowns will burn dope with the turncoats. And I'm like, okay, that's true. People will smoke weed with the little snitchy types that you shouldn't be fucking around with. Mad cause I earned those, so they turned foe. Found out the hard way, but I learned though. Valuable lesson taught without a second thought. That list that I was checking off got longer, weakness got stronger. Wrong or right, if it's on, then it's on, and it's on for life. For betrayal, when snakes play you, but destined to fail. All I really need is my heat and my cheese to make bail. So if you fuck with him, and he learned the lessons again, fucked over from unloyal people, and it kind of taught him some shit, and he recognized some whatever. But if you do cross him, you end up on a list, and he will take out the motherfuckers on that list, and all he needs is his gun and his money to pay the bail fee after he clips you. And I just felt like it was pretty fucking hard and shit. And then it flows into the cook again, and then Big Rock does this commentary describing how he's loyal, but how snakes and all this shit are fucking up the game, and how the whole game only really works if everyone's loyal to each other, and disloyalty creates the corruption and all the dark shit that ends up happening. And I thought it was a powerful song with a great message, a really great rhyming, good beat, everything I could probably ever fucking want in it. So I gave it a 4.5 on 5.
Nice. The song is good. You really get this sense of like understanding what loyalty is. You get this sense of, as they're kind of explaining different encounters they've had, people have kind of fucked them over, you know, snakes are doing what they got to do. I kind of got this hint, and I played the song a couple times because there was no lyrics. I kind of got this hint that at a certain point, the loyalty that they're talking about is for me, it felt like it was to themselves and to their gun. In terms of like, I don't trust anybody. I don't, like, everybody's fucking around. The only type of loyalty I really respect is the one that I give myself, because I know that I'm not going to fuck myself over. And that's kind of what I took from the track. And it was really cool. I don't really have much else to say. I really did try to, like, get into it and try to get some lyrics, but it I don't know. I felt more interested in terms of, like, the sound of it, the way they're saying it and whatnot. I didn't really want to mess up a lot of the things they were saying or the experiences, so I kind of left it with a 4.2. I do like Black Shakespeare on the chorus. That was great. I enjoy how they're trying out different things and they're still staying still staying true to this, like, old school sounding vibe. Like, still to this point, they're still kind of being unique with what they want to do, and it's great.
All right. So the next one on Kendrick Lamar's album would be Pride, but we are not talking about that. So instead, we'll talk about Life's Good. I just wasn't expecting to be talking about Blue again. We just talked about Blue in Exile with the album Give Me My Flowers While I Can Still Smell Them. We talked about Blue and Oh No with the really long Summer Red Hot title, whatever, the recent album. We done a lot of Blue. So here he is again on this project, which is cool. I like Blue. I'm not even trying to say it. It's just, I don't realize, like, how connected so many of these dudes are, and it's kind of, like, cool to, like, see that we're starting to, like, discover scenes as we go through these albums. But still, right. I believe MED starts off the first verse. I think Blue's doing the intro.
It was Blue.
Does Blue do the first verse?
Blue did the first verse, Guilty does the third, and MED does the middle.
So I wasn't sure whether it was Blue or MED who does the first verse. I know Blue does I think Blue does the intro, like, hey, what's up, what's good.
Well, because the way I kind of say it, and there's a consistency with the rappers, right? So far, what we've talked about, and from what I'm understanding, Guilty Simpson seems to be the more, like, thuggish guy, like, more into the drugs, into the dealing, into the gangsterism and all that. MED seems to be more of this, like, kind of positive, kind of like stick on the grind, family, blah, 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 blah. More of just like the guess general aspect of things. And that's how I think Blue is the one on the first verse, because he kind of has a whole verse about his wife. Like, he wakes up to bacon and eggs, his woman's naked, like, his wife, his woman's naked. That sounded
more like MED to me. But maybe I'm wrong. Because, like, Blue, like, because I just don't see it. Okay, so in the second verse, it's, yo, when life gets heavy, stay ready for the circus, prepare for the worst shit. The lions is thirsty, the word on the street is folk ain't eating. I got fat last year, no eating meat this season. We still beast, kill streets with the noise, kill the noise in the streets, fill the G's with knowledge and every promise I keep. Hip-hop scholar, just speak beats and products, narcotic with the way we distribute.
I feel like it's MED.
That sounded very Blue to me, but maybe I'm wrong. And again, feel free to make fun of us in the comments. Like, this will be like,
you're more right if it's Blue than I am.
I don't know.
That's
I mean,
for sure.
I'll sound twice as dumb if I'm wrong, because I just talked about reviewing Blue a bunch. But I feel like that was Blue. But maybe I'm wrong. We've established that. Anyway, first verse, had a feeling today, man. I woke up in the morning, turkey bacon with eggs. My lady made in the nude. Later on the plate to finish the food. I was like, okay, he's going to eat that pussy after he eats the turkey bacon. Priorities, got that shit. Past moons wasn't easy, but the sun will never leave me. I'm good, like, far from the good life. The hood misunderstood, so give a fuck what Facebook like. Time is certain, it's looking like work is long. My job wouldn't look me in the eyes when they let me go. Okay, I have no idea which of the two it is, so we've established that. But either way, both verses kind of flow good, and you get, like, this sense of, like, in the midst of maybe some harder things or situations, they're able to find the good in it all. So life is good because they make life good, you know? Guilty Simpson has the dreams keep flowing, freaks keep going, the weed keeps blowing, counting my dough and feels great when you're getting paid. Another show date, we on the interstate, feeling proud, we can get a crowd, hitting loud, holding in every hit I take. Even though I can feel the hate, too busy at the table with a bigger plate and they hate it. I just love the flossing. Like, we're finally out there making that money. We're finally out there touring. We're finally out there doing their shit and they don't fucking like us. And then there's like a whole bunch of little outro bits, these little like one-liner little situations like, I like, even though I'm living so misunderstood, or my life is good, I'm doing it the best that I could. And it's just like, the beat's got this like esoteric fucking wavy feel, and it just like, it makes sense blues on this beat.
Right.
That I can just say, like, it just, I don't know if it's Exile who made it or who did it, but
I think Exile made Pie.
I don't know. I couldn't figure out the productions because I didn't look it up because it wasn't on Genius and it was hard, and so I was lazy. But either way, it just has this like spacey kind of whoa, 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 whoa. That was a terrible fucking effect, but yes. I love the effect of that beat. Overall, this track was really enjoyable to me, and I feel like there was a little lull earlier in the album, but we've just slammed into these amazing fucking track after track. I'm giving this a 4.5. I really liked it. Oh, and Jay Mitchell does the singy bits on it. That's my thoughts. I like Life's Good. Because life is good if you make it.
So, this is how I broke down the song. The first verse kind of seems, and at this point, I don't really care who does the verses. It's how I broke it down. The first verse is kind of good life, married life, got the girl, everything's kind of cool. And somewhere in the verse, I feel like he kind of leaves the house after he's had breakfast. And then, you know, I guess ate out his girl. And then he went to work at the studio, making sure that there's, like, sticking up with the recordings and stuff like that. So I kind of feel like verse 1 was really, like, the rapper life.
But he gets fired from his day job, too.
I didn't catch that. I'm saying, like, from what I caught in terms of the song, I feel like verse 1 is, like, the rapper life. I wake up, my girl's there, she's cooking me food, I do this, I do that, I head to the studio, I make sure the money's good, the recordings are good, we get the gold records, and we move on. Second verse, I felt it was more like life is good when you're trying to improve yourself and be smarter and share and give back to the community and blah, 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 which is why I think it's MED, M-E-D, more of that like knowledge and wisdom and all that. And then on the third verse, life is good because I'll kill you if you fuck with me. Because I'm not mistaken, there's like near the end of the verse, Guilty Simpson kind of goes something about getting popped or whatever. And it feels like he still has that gangster-esque feel to him. So I feel like every individual artist is giving their reason on why their life is good in a different aspect, and it was really cool. That's kind of how I felt it. One was I love the gangster life. One was I love being smart and knowledgeable and sharing back, and the other one was I love being a rapper. And that's kind of how I broke down the song, and it was really nice. Overall, they all stand up nice to each other. They're all performing very well. The womp sound was irritating. I don't like hate it, but it was just irritating. The frequency of how like it was just always there. Anyway, I left the song with a 4.2.
All right. Well, the truth is the womp sound gave me some bliss. It's all like nice and positive and uplifting and shit, and then apparently it's a meme. I don't even know what meme it is. Chris, tell us about the meme.
Okay, so I don't know what the meme's called, but I call him the whack dude. It's just this black guy who I think is a skater, and he's just chilling in the middle of the street, and he's just like, his shoes, whack. His hair, whack. His hat, whack. Like,
I mean, go on.
It's just...
Holy shit. I looked up whack dude.
I'm not crazy.
Yeah, I looked up whack dude, and yeah, we found it on YouTube.
They actually used the meme, and that's exactly why this got a 4 or like a 4.2, because it's funny. Like,
I mean, it really like fits, right? Because it's like you're trying to have a nice day, and then this guy shows up.
No, he's just me. I'm tight as fuck. Like, it's just, it's you know what it is? It really gave me this like like this empowering feeling a little bit. Like just kind of like listening to it and being in this little vibe, and then the way he's just like such and such is whack and no, like I was swinging my hand at it too. This is whack and that is whack and then me, I'm tight as fuck. Like it really gave me that I feel cool. That's how I took it. It got a 4.2.
I gave it a 4.25 because I thought it was funny. It was all like blissful and nice and uplifting, like you're having a nice stroll, and then you come across that guy and he's making fun of you. But it's also kind of like looking at it maybe from the perspective of having confidence and fun and looking at all these whack motherfuckers all around you. Either way, it was all right. This one I actually thought was like a decent skit that really kind of was nice to listen to on this project. Anyway, what is the next song called, Chris? Because we're running out of time. Damn it. Timing was bad on that one.
Don't provide us fifth sacks by your net in this. But baby couldn't put vagina on the tap.
This one's about girls. This time I'm pretty sure it's about girls because he has a line like, baby couldn't put vagina on her taxes. This one. So yeah, first one is MED. So it's like, she one of a kind. Fine. Yeah, something and shy. I know what he said there. Every dime I got two sides. She naughty and alive. West side shorty sports ride with a sex drive. Love crimes like pricey and by side chicks like a daddy here. New whack feet tack fatty photo from the back. Yeah. Power of attraction got her lacking in true beauty. Bougie and fine. Heels Louis design. Wealth couldn't buy self-love. He bought her shit, but baby couldn't put vagina on her taxes. And it's just kind of like, you get the sense that MED is fucking around with some ladies that are into some material possessions, and I don't know, I took it a little bit like, you know, like Lil Wayne describes his relationships with women, where like, I bought her some purses, and she sucked my dick 9 times in a row. That's kind of what I was picturing, but also like questioning the integrity of it all a little bit. Like, it's kind of sad that that's your income, that's how you make your money. You can't even declare that shit, you know? And then it's fine. I guess that's the type of girls he's into. And then Guilty's there. Baby girl work all week, still managed to go to work on me. And I'm like, I want the girl Guilty's got. That girl sounds way more interesting. She's a little more independent. Still comes home, rides his dick till he... You know, that's what I picture. I picture him just laying back on the couch, and that girl just bopping on him like a stripper would do. Like, you know, like the just straight up, the hips going
the
like
bounce,
just straight up, like the nonstop. Like usually you see it a lot in like Colombian girls and shit. Anyway, that sometimes my brain just goes there, and I appreciate you because that's important to appreciate the girl bouncing on your dick. You copy that, yeah. You see the paper and the jizz, hold the kids like an incubator. I don't know if that's what he said, but that's what I heard, so I wrote that down. It's like I just pictured her like jizzing. He's like, yo, hold on to that, like, you know, like, 'cause that's my kids and shit. I don't know, like, or put it inside of the vagina.
Yo, just put it in your hand. Just hold it.
Or like it's like a cream pie situation where you blast off inside of her to incubate a baby. I wasn't sure. My type is the freaky flavor. Put a lady in the sheets. She thought I produced the way I gave her them beats. So he pounded the pussy and boozed it all up to a point where he's basically a producer, a beat maker, because he beats up the pussy with his dick. She got skeet along the 1,000 thread count sheets. I'm like, that's fair. Because like when you are intercoursing, skeet gets places. That just happens, and it ruins sheets, and you have to do laundries a lot.
I love how you go when you're intercoursing, skeet.
Well, I mean, that's what makes it more fun, I think. I like the way they chose to rap about this subject. I don't know that I'm that interested in the subject matter. I think it's an alright song. I give it a 4.1. It was okay. They like to fuck. Makes sense.
So the song is basically both artists appreciating the one woman in their life. That's kind of how I took it. Clearly, Guilty Simpson is literally just appreciating this one girl who's kind of riding and dying for him and really got his back. The chorus is what kind of gave it away with Jimetta Rose. Because in the chorus, Jietta's basically saying, I will do whatever you want if you just give me time. And I feel like in terms of the verses, they're explaining like, if you ride with me and you kind of stick on my side and you stick around and you kind of, you know, live the type of life I live, I will be able to be there for you and provide for you and, you know, be your man. but you also need to be that woman that I need in my life. And these two women, one each for the rappers. I feel like they're both just giving their appreciation for the type of girls. Now, it kind of makes sense. Independent girl, working all week, comes home, works on him, but MED also kind of seems to be like the more of that like grinding wisdom, like that kind of seems like the life he would have. Try to make sure she's good. I appreciate you. I love you. No. Guilty Simpson, he's the thug. He's the G. So yeah, it kind of makes sense that he's looking for a girl who's down to have some threesomes, down to have a side bitch, down to make some chops and shit. It really, they're both just appreciating the women in their life.
I don't know. I feel like Guilty Simpson seems to be the calmer, more wise one, and MED's more like flashy and out there. Personally,
Did I get the verses mixed? I may have gotten the verses mixed up.
Guilty's the second verse with the deeper voice. MED's the first verse.
Okay, then it's the other way. But so I messed up the artist. My bad. The other way around.
I don't know, man.
But I guess the concept's still the same. It's not. I don't think it's about multiple women. I think they're both just speaking about one individual woman in their life who has held them down, and I kind of get that reinforced by the chorus where it's a woman going, "I will do what you like." Essentially, she's saying, "I will do what you want if you just give me time."
Fair enough.
And that's what I got. I gave it 4.2. I thought it was cool. I thought it was just an honest kind of like, you're willing to make the effort for me. I'm willing to make the effort for you. You're willing to adapt with me. I'm going to adapt with you. And it was just nice.
All right. Well, all things considered, everybody needs a liquor break after that one.
Clearly they
I can't see you though, bitch. You see me, I'm all out.
So it just sounds like a drunk dude yelling shit like, "Stupid bitch, look at that, I'm provoking you, huh? You goddamn devil worshiper, you ain't got no excuse." It just sounds like a well-produced drunk rant of him yelling at this lady for XYZ reason. And I guess after having their moment with the shawty, they're having a bad moment after the alcohol brings out the beast in a man. I don't know. I gave it a 3.75. I didn't really feel this one. It was just fine. It was well made, fine, but it was fine.
So this is part 2 of a 3-part series. Last song, they were all happy and appreciating this woman. They broke up, and now they're drinking and venting and a drunken rat.
Okay.
I will make the connection on the next song. This is a 4.
All right. So the next song, there was a little gift for us. The lyrics are on Genius as we talk about Face Down.
The morning when you see them scars with an snort to the dirty Teflon with the 30 long.
So this really awesome rock song called Face Down starts with, "Hey girl, you know you drive me crazy. One look puts the rhythm in my hand." Okay, it's not the right song again. Damn, I keep getting distracted here.
God damn, Holden.
This one is actually by Guilty Simpson and MED. It's called Face Down. And Chris, why don't you continue your theory that you were bringing us on?
Verse 1. Hallelujah to them true moody look got them unruly. Yours truly, my dollars are made of more choosy. No excuse with the fullies ain't a treat to me. Throw stones, get 2 hoes on the O's to your coochie lord. She took me to another groupie on tour. Beat it sore. No rookies with the Woody Award. This seemed to be like we fucking hoes song. They're fucking women because they broke up with their girlfriends on the first song. Then they got drunk and now they're fucking hoes. This is why I think it's a 3-part track. Just the way that the songs are kind of organized together, I feel like this was the connection of the thing. After they were all in love, broke up, got drunk, and now...
Guilty's not talking about fucking women. That's
so I
just
know
MED.
more. I'm hardcore. This rap shit like chores. And with competition, I'm doing floors. Attitude grew up piss poor. Gripping the 4 when I'm leaving the liquor store. My hit's pure. Right? But
that has to do with girls.
No, but in the last song, he was drunk and having a rant, so he's probably dealing with his emotions and doing stuff while he's getting the 40 from the liquor store. And eventually, he fucks a girl in his verse 2.
But the Guilty in verse 2 does not fuck a girl. He doesn't fuck a girl in this song. And MED fucks the girl in this song.
Pretty sure, didn't he fuck a girl in this song?
Nah, I mean, MED's fucking girl for sure. Ava and Jade Spade taste the fruits of war. You know, he's fucking multiple girls in this song for real. So I agree with you if you want to bring it through to MED, perhaps. But this song also came out on another project like a year back in 2018, the Loyalty Project. But no, I mean, Guilty Simpson just feels like he's pouring through, and like the rap is fucking raw, real, proper. Like, I'm hammered up in the caddy truck. I got guns in the caddy. 2, 2, 3 in the GMC. You add it up. If I had a penny for each time I sense envy, I'd be a billionaire. I can feel the stares. People hate me, and if I had a penny, you know, like I'm not seeing your theory transferring over to Guilty Simpson. Is all I'm trying to say.
Fair enough.
Wind come round, hit the ground face down. Nobody make a sound face down. Still don't move. Put the booth pounds money when I lay them down. I don't know. It just feels like they're very serious people that do what they got to do and take care of the situation. I don't know. I did enjoy listening to this song, but I thought it was more like, okay, this is more of like the regular of this album. It feels pretty good to listen to. Both guys are flowing proper, kind of giving, like, I feel like Guilty has been more of that wise, calmer, I'm fucking boss, harder, and then you're going to get more of that wild party-ish kind of stuff out of MED in terms of the split that I've seen on this album. So it seemed like really consistent to that, and I give it a 4.25 on 5.
Nice. I gave this song a 4.2 as well? No, I gave this song a 4.
Okay, so moving along, when we're in the VIP service, we get the ice service, maybe? I don't know, I'm never in VIP. Nobody invites me.
Waving Glocks, kick indoors and take the pot. I keep a little something with me if I'm...
So it starts off with this little, like, speech kind of going, authentic hip-hop or, like, real lyrics is never going to die. It's not like a fashion statement. It's not like a fad that's going to go away. There are always going to be people who appreciate
real shit,
the good metaphor and lyricism that goes into the real shit, as we'll call it. And then they kind of go back and forth on the verses, which I kind of wish they did more of now that I heard this song. It would have been nice to get a little bit more of this, to be honest. But you get it starting out with MED, run up in the club, trade up, Turking or something. I don't know what the fuck he said. I figured it was some slang shit. I just don't know what it means. How we send your VIP to ice service, silver surf into the turf, white wall skirt, and then split the worth over aged bourbon. You ain't bout shit like male who sit when they pissin'. I'm like, bro, sometimes you think you're gonna take a shit, and then you just only end up taking a piss, and then you don't end up shitting, and then you're sitting while you're pissing, and what, you're gonna get coming to do like that? But otherwise, it was fine. I guess it's calling you a pussy inadvertently because women sit while they piss. But I'm just saying, like, sometimes you just feeling super lazy.
You drink coffee, you feel like you gotta poop,
and then you just don't end up pooping. You have a little pee, and then oh shit, now MED's calling you a bitch. That's what I'm understanding. I mean, right? No, I mean it was well done though. The flow is just impeccable on this. He really hits it up proper. Flips all of a sudden into Guilty on verse 1, and I'm like, oh cool, they're sharing verses now. They something like the greatest how I play the block. The clowns like to hate a lot, but the ladies watch. I had charms since pacifiers and baby socks. I got the arm to do you harm. When I cradle rock, my cold consequences will make you hot. And you realize, okay, it's flowing in. They're harsh, they dope, you're not. And that's kind of the essence of this song. The flows are tight, the beat's alright, everybody's interlaced alright, and it's just a nice track to listen to. I give it a 4.25 again. I feel like it's as good as the last one I heard. It isn't on like my favorite end, but it's still very enjoyable.
I'll be honest, I don't have much to say. It was okay. For me, this hit a 4. I prefer some of the other flexing tracks on the album, personally. Like, I'm not really gonna take so much time on that. It was cool. The verses were good. I don't know. This just wasn't like really outstandish to me. It was just cool. Like,
you know that outstandish isn't a word. Outstanding is a word.
That's the word I was looking for.
And it's lavish is another word if you want to use ish. Or ticklish also uses ish.
It's a 4.
All right, because you can see I'm kind of fucking unpredictable.
Homie, who you with? Show your cats where your mama live.
I appreciate that they buy pre-rolls. I don't know. It's just that was my big takeaway from this is they buy pre-rolls. and it keeps them seminal. I don't know. Either way, I enjoyed this track. I thought this was like a really cool way to end it. Like that beat is really stellar, and I feel like in general they really like it. Almost like they saved this one for last because they knew this is one of the bangers on this project. MED starts us off again. Look, tickle down my spine, sipping moonshine, triple double ups when the moon shines. Heard they press me, got me stressed, homie, who lie, moving silence. It's not homie, I just edited the word. Moving silence, suit and tie, handle, BI. And I'm like, did he just drop a business intelligence? Like, did he just drop a tech term into the middle of this fucking rhyme? Or is that some slang shit? I just don't know. But I'm gonna prefer to think that he's really dropping tech language in the middle of this fucking verse. And I was really happy with that. Knew I was a prophet, moving product like a truck driver. Whole something get discovered from them C drivers. Splash. Think wiser, Einsteiner. Ahead of the time, had to rewind a watch like Marty McFly. 2029 is my itinerary. Remember what I said about visualization? How many years into the future it should be? 10. Where is he aiming for? 10 years in the future. This motherfucker knows what's up. He understands how to achieve success in life. He's better at it than me for sure, but I'm on the path too. I'm coming, homie. I'm coming, MED and Guilty Simpson. One day we'll chill. I would personally love to hang out with Guilty Simpson. I decided he's a guy I want to chill with. I just want to talk to him and hear him use that voice to describe some shit to me. I bet he's entertaining as fuck. Imagine Guilty Simpson's like the quiet one in the corner, like, I don't like to talk when I'm not rapping. Anyway.
Slight head nods.
Yeah.
Approval.
So he comes in, though, Guilty here with how you rollin', let me know something. I'm all about the dough doubling. Dudes violate, so you line them straight. I conspire to hate while I pound my plate. You can say yes a million times, but all they'll remember is that one no. Won't be happy till your phone's low when you're on your knuckles, falling off your hustle. Down the toilet like drugs go when you're in the raid and the pigs rush in. Now they acting funny like I did something, but all I did was me, sucker free. That's all I know. And I'm like, damn. Again, hard hitting, super authentic, very like tough, but like you almost feel like he's a very fair guy, and he just spits shit realistically how he fucking sees it. And it's just, I feel like both these guys dropped some of their best verses on this track, and I thought it was really, really awesome as they kind of look at how they're committed to their ship, and maybe other people aren't as particularly thrilled with their success and become a little unpredictable. And then just to show unpredictability even further, as the song's about to close out, the beat just flips the fuck up into something completely new,
completely
but
rando,
good and very awesome. So I ended this shit on a 4.5, and I was like, damn, this is how you end a good project like this. Very nice track.
Overall, I kind of just felt like the song was them explaining how they don't trust anybody because people are just unpredictable. And it kind of, for me, was just driving home the fact of being true to yourself, working on your own grind, make sure that you've got your shit secure because you can't really rely on other people. And as things change, you get famous, you get older, you this, that, life takes its toll. And it's like, eventually, I feel like they're giving off this message where you kind of have to learn how to adapt, or you just really stick to yourself. What I kind of get more is we stuck to our dream, we stuck to ourselves, we didn't really try to be out here live and doing all the shit that everyone else is doing. We just stuck to our guns and look where we're at now. And that's a really great way to wrap up the entire album in terms of keeping it consistent with everything they've been saying, especially on how there's snakes and jakes and a bunch of people that are trying to just keep them down and keep them away from what they really, really want and what they can achieve. So yeah, really great. And I really like the beat change. The fact that they called it unpredictable and the beat changes and it's complete left field from what the original beat started with.
Another way to put it, it's unpredictable. Keep going.
Yes. It was great. I left it with a 4.3.
All right. So for this project as a whole, I'm giving the album a 4.29 on 5. I really enjoyed listening to it. I think these guys are very talented. I definitely believe if I have to pick my favorite of the two, it's Guilty Simpson. I like love the way his voice sounds and the brevity and bluntness in his tone. But I also really appreciate the flair and the diverse vocabulary that we get out of MED. And I think together their styles just mesh very well in a way where maybe it shouldn't work, but it really fucking does. The beat choices on this project are really great. Some of them might not be my preference, but nothing sounded bad. Like everything worked the way it was supposed to. You get mostly the same subject matter, but it's the kind of like consistency where like while it flows and it nuances, and it really is be authentic, stick to your grind, do what you gotta do, understand the situation. And just a little bit like wisdom, like it's the type of shit where if the kids are hearing it, at least they're gonna get like the proper sense of knowledge and not the glorified fucking nonsense. I really liked it. I don't know, I would say that for those who like the street shit and who like that, like I guess bar driven, but not just the underground flashiness, but like that more authentic sound, I would say jump on this shit. It's totally worth your time.
For me, in terms of wrapping up the album, I think that I'm gonna actually go home and listen to the album again. I really enjoyed it, and it's not, and I'm not saying because of like I want to dive into it or nothing. I actually genuinely enjoy the overall sound of the album. I like where it takes you. I like the different type of feels that I got. I like the different vibes. I like the old school, authentic sounding, and kind of like the nostalgic feelings and memories I get. So I think that this is a really good listen, and they have certain flows that are nice to listen to, and they're very cool technical, like the technique is cool, and yeah, I just really like the album. I don't really think that I have anything in terms of like really hard hitting lyrics and stuff that I really want to go back to, because there's a little bit of everything for somebody on this album in a very unique way. So overall, I left the album with a 4.2 on 5.
All right. Well, thank you all for being here today. Just know that the weather in Montreal is calling for extreme rain fucking awfulness, because, of course, we can't have a single 2-day in a row period of nice weather at this time of year. It was nice and sunny today. It was nice today, but just today. And then it's going to be awful for a while. Nothing to do with this review, but just thought you guys should know about our terrible weather in Montreal. Anyway, thank y'all for being here. We really do appreciate it. Chris is like, what the fuck? Really appreciate you being here, watching this shit, just supporting it, because it means the world to us. So feel free to leave any comments about anything. You can make fun of my complete random non sequiturs about nothing. That's fine. I understand how lame I am, but we can roll through all that. We can have a good discussion about the music. You can recommend some other motherfuckers we should be checking out. We can just appreciate shit together, and as we go on with this channel, we'll just learn and grow and get better as time goes on. And that's just what happens as you keep practicing, and shall I say, if we listen to the wise words of Guilty Simpsons and MED, stay dedicated to the fucking grind. Anyway, thank y'all for being here. It totally means the world. Special thanks to the patrons: Ismail Gadamsi, Chris Prado, DJ Black Hurricane, Linda Williams, and Jonathan Barnes. Sorry about that, dude. And this probably do help us get a new camera. They don't know it yet, but they're helping us get a new camera stand, because I fucking hate the one I have now. It's terrible.
He spent like 10 minutes trying to fix it today.
It wasn't that bad, but it's pretty bad. And so that's coming. They also get to tell us what albums to review, so you'll see some, as time goes on, a lot of the reviews on the more classic end are being driven by Patreon. So if you want to see us review in particular albums, it's a good way to do it. Also, you just show love and inspire us, and then maybe one day we can quit our jobs and do an even better job at this shit. And that was the dream.
Come on, guys, help us quit our day jobs.
And then, yeah, otherwise, if you want to hit that subscribe button, hit that like button, leave a comment so we can have a conversation. That was a terrible impression. Leave a comment so we can have a terrible, a comment conversation. I'm done. I'm really failing here. And it's even early. It's not even that late or anything. I don't get it. So
later than we've usually done
no,
it.
No, it's not. It's not.
Fair.
Anyway, so thank y'all again. I hope you're getting the sentiment of that through the little banters. I dropped a project for my own music recently. It's on Spotify. Chris is on it. You can see that on the channel. You'll see us holding up lyric cards in a park with some ducks. Some ducks end up in the video. Thank y'all for being here. Hope you have a great week. Peace.